guys, welcome back to my channel. I just moved into my new place about a week ago. Okay, not even a week, like 5 days, six days. Moved in last Saturday. So this place is relatively new to me. I'm still trying to clean up everything. Therefore, my room is very messy, very messy. I cleaned it up and then I messed it up again, so it's in the status right now. State, yep. I haven't gotten a sketchbook yet, therefore I can't really start on the September update, even though it's not really September yet, but I can't really draw in a book right now. This is sort of more of a how I got into drawing, because people ask me all the time, how did you get into drawing? So I just wanted to make this video to tell you a little bit about how I got into drawing and where I went from there. When I was a kid, my mom told me that I would just like take all of her dictionaries and scribble all over them. And it was actually true. Like some of her Chinese dictionaries, there were like scribbles everywhere and like deformed human beings with like rectangular boxes. And that was when I was up till 3. And then, let's see, how did it go? Okay. I think it was in grade 4 when I started taking drawing lessons. My mom sent me to this dude, and I think it was like $10 an hour, very, very steep. So I went drawing once a week, and I kept going for, I think, about, how many months? 4 months, so that's like 12 less, wait, 3 months, 4 months, 16 lessons, something like that. 4 months or 3 months, something like that. And I would just draw for this guy, and he would like, tell me where my proportions were wrong, how coloring should go, and I would just practice every week like that. I usually started out with Pokemon. Like, I remember my sketchbooks back then had so many Pokemon drawings. Let's see, what did I do? I've done, oh my god, I've already gotten their names. Azumarill, this like Pokemon collage drawing too. I don't remember which Pokemon it was. I think there was a Dragonair in there somewhere. But that, I've also done, what the heck is that name? The crabby, I've already forgotten. But like the red dude with like the crabby scissor hands. Scissor? No. Scissor? Scyther? No, that's not Scyther. But yeah, I did a lot of Pokemon drawing, and then eventually I remember there was this one drawing I did, which was near the end of those 4 months, when I started drawing people. And at that point, I didn't actually learn how to draw my own yet. It was more just find something you like drawing and just sort of, like learn how to draw it on a new piece of paper and then color it in, and that's what it was. Then the very last lesson I took before my parents ended up not taking me because of time restraints and also a bit of money, because it's not cheap to go to private art lessons. But yeah, the very last thing I did was starting on watercolor, and it was this like little girl who was like all derpy and like just walking randomly there. But yeah, that's what it was, and I think that was sort of how it started with my obsession with drawing girls. And I also remember back then in grade 4, it was my Wings Club and Inuyasha phase. So I would just draw like Wings Club and Inuyasha. And I had this huge thing for Kikyo. Like, oh my god, Kikyo was the best thing ever. And I was just like totally against Kagome because she was really annoying. But yep, that was that. And I didn't really draw guys back then. It was just like Wings Club, like thingies with like cheerleaders. I don't even know. And then in grade 5, it was a little bit of everything actually. Just still a lot of girls. And I distinctly remember there was this one drawing I did of, what was it? I think it was Puccina or something like that, that I did. And then this dude was like, oh, can I buy it off of you? Yeah, that's how it went, because I was just that awesome. Thank you. But yep. Then grade 6. Grade 6 was when I actually continued to draw and progress with drawing females and their proportions. And of course, you can't really expect much from me because it was such a delusional time when I thought girls were like, like little sticks and stuff. So they had no boobs and they all looked like pre-puberty little female people thingamabobs. But I still liked that stage. It was an interesting stage, to say the least. Then grade 7 and 8, I started branching off more into intense watercoloring as well, because I don't know, I found it interesting to do like an acrylic style watercolor. So I would just use less water and like slap all that paint on there, which that's clearly not what you're supposed to do with watercolor. And but that was my phase. And I also worked on sort of just trying to, okay, there's this guy like right outside because my windows are right next to a parking lot. The windows are huge too, so it's a bit awkward, but yeah. What did I do? Don't quite remember, but yeah, that was just when I started branching off into more fields, more the watercolor, wrong kind of watercoloring, but watercoloring. I also tried a bit of, what else did I try? I honestly don't remember. But then grade 9 came and, oh wait, no, grade 8, I think grade 8 was when I started with digital coloring, but it was just with the mouse because I didn't really have a tablet back then, therefore I used the mouse. And it was definitely interesting because I used, what program was it? Sumo Paint. Do you guys know Sumo Paint? I used Sumo Paint earlier on, and then I used the Rate My Drawings one. And when I tried to do line art, I would use like the line tool, not like the curve tool, but it was a legit line tool. And then you would go like little by little, but with all the lines. But I sucked at it, so it looked like this robotic sort of line art. And that's where I ended up failing. Then what was next after that? Grade 9, I just kept with the digital coloring on, I think that's when I started using Paint Tool Sai. Or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was grade 9. But back then, when in grade 9, I still had a, a mouse, and I also tried using laptop mouse as well. Those are my two primary methods, mainly the laptop mouse that, like, you know, the trackpad thingamabob. And then in grade 10, I finally got a tablet. It's the Wacom Bamboo Tapture, and I just went nuts with that thing. I'm just like, draw, and that's how it sort of started, because I just freaking love that thing so much. It's a really light tablet for one thing, like the pen doesn't feel like anything. I know some of the older styles have pens that actually have batteries inside, so it's a bit inconvenient. But right when I started using that tablet, it felt like second nature to me because it wasn't very hard, honestly. You get used to it after using the trackpad and having experience with pen and paper. So it's actually quite easy for anyone who wants to get a tablet. Not like the, like, you know, Nexus 7 kind of tablet or the Galaxy Tab kind of tablet. No. Like the pen tablet, if you guys know what that is. I will leave a link of what a pen tablet is because people sometimes confuse that for the other kind of tablet. But yeah, I started using the tablet, and then, like, I don't know, since I was a kid, magical girls have been like this thing because clearly everyone wants to be magical, and drawing magical girls just made me happy. Don't judge. So I was really into fantasy as well as like big boobs. Like, yeah. I think if you go back to some of my older drawings, a lot of them had really big boobs. Maybe it was my desire to have big boobs that, like, you know, made me draw them all with big boobs, you know, psychoanalyzing myself. Yeah. Then, let's see, grade 11, I had this problem with like drawing heads on bodies. Like, it would legitimately look like the head was too forward on the neck. Like, I don't know how to start like that. Like, the neck was just too back, so it looked awkward, and I ended up trying to fix that. I'm working on it right now. I more or less fix it, though sometimes I still get into the habit of doing it. Then, let's see, where am I at now? Grade 12. And I've realized that I actually really like drawing creepy drawings. I love anything that's slightly abstract. I've also gone into a bit of the still life sort of realism kind of thing. I'm working on a realism. Like, I would really like models, people, but yeah. And now it's at this point where I've realized that I still love anime, but I also want to try out a bit of everything else. Now I'm also working on using Photoshop because backgrounds have never been my forte. Now that I can solve a bunch of brushes in it, and you know, yeah. Oh wow, you can't actually solve brushes. I mean, textures. Yeah, textures. That's how I got to here. It's not much. I think it requires a lot of practice and learning that you sometimes do need references. You can't just learn off of nothing. That's how I've just not had progress because I could never correct my mistakes. So it's actually good to look at references, check out different styles, see what you like, and practice. No, I don't mean like tracing. You can try copying, but obviously you have to credit someone else and say that that's not actually your own work. I mean, like, you drew it, but not really. So if you use references, just remember that, you know, they actually helped you get you to where you are right now. Because first of all, it's really hard to draw without seeing everything else, unless, you know, you're going for abstract or whatnot. But yep, it takes a bit of work to work on proportions and for people. So practice, 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 and never ever get, forgot the word, discouraged is that word? Discouraged. Yeah. And do you like my hair? It's like going that way. Yeah. I'm still doing nothing because I'm waiting for an orientation event to start. So yeah.